Good morning, my dear students. I hope you all are fine and safe at home. So, here I am with my lecture number 21 of Elementary Economics, class ninth. So, in this video, I shall be explaining you the chapter number 4, Types of Economics. Already, I have made one video of this chapter, just in which I have explained you the meaning of economic system, the various types of economies in our is present in our country, and the meaning of capitalist economy and its features. So in this video I shall be covering the remaining topics of the chapter. So let's proceed to the first topic, that is merits of capitalist economy. This already, students, we have discussed the meaning of capitalist economy. Just take a quick revision of this capitalist economy. What I have told in capitalist economy means that economy which is being controlled by the private individuals, like the private businessman. There is no interference of the government in the just in the activities of the private private individuals, and the main motive is to earn the profits. So capitalist economy are those economies, are those entities which are held by the private individuals. There is a least interference of the government, and their main motive is to earn the profits. Hope you are clear with the meaning of capitalist economy. And if you want the meaning of capitalist economy in detail, you can watch my previous video. So let's talk about the merits of capitalist economy. First merit is freedom to take economic decisions. Now, all the economic agents, like producers and consumers, enjoy the freedom of taking the economic decisions. Now, in this type of economy, the producers as well as the consumers are totally free in taking the decisions. There is no interference of either government or any outside company just in taking any economic decisions. The producers can produce whatever commodity they want to produce. Producers can produce whatever commodity they want to produce without any interference, without any you know just compulsion of producing. And same in the case of consumers also. Consumers can purchase whatever quantities they wanted to they want to purchase. There is no compulsion of force of government or any outside company. So hence the first merit is freedom to take the economic decisions. Now, second one is efficient utilization of economic resources. Through the free operation of the market mechanism, economic resources can be efficiently allocated in the most profitable uses. Now, you must have seen that if, just take for example, if a private company is producing one good and a public company, means a government company, is producing some good. So, if their main motive is to earn the money, while their main motive is to provide the service. Now, just if we look in the practical case, who will use the resources in the most efficient manner? Whether it is private entities or the government entities, who will use the resources in the most efficient manner, means in the most proper manner? The answer is private sector. Why private sector? Because their main motive is to earn the money, and for earning the money they will try to maximize their profits, and utilize the resources in the most efficient way, so that their cost will be less than the profits. Their cost will be less than the profits, because they want to earn more profits, and for that purpose they will try to keep the cost as minimum as possible. While the government is providing the service, they are not set up to earn the profits. So they will rather aim for maximizing the benefits, satisfactions, rather than thinking about the cost. So in this, the cost will be more than the profits. So hence we can say that the capitalist economy, in the capitalist economy, the private sector, the private entities utilize the resources in the most efficient manner. Hope you are clear with these 2 points. Now third point is availability of the just of more output at a lower prices. Now in a capitalist economy, it is possible that more and more output can be produced at lower prices, because there is one rule behind it: large scale production. Large scale production. Now understand this with one example. Suppose you are producing 10 tables. 10 tables you are producing, and the cost of producing 10 tables comes to 100 rupees. Com- uh, just comes to 100 rupees. And if you are producing 100 tables, suppose you are producing 100 tables, so the cost of producing 100 tables comes to around uh, you know 150 rupees. 150 rupees. So if you can observe that, if when you produce the commodities at a very large scale, when you produce large commodities, large amount of commodities, the cost of production will become less. The cost of production will become less. Just if we do the comparison, 10 tables cost 100 rupees and 100 tables cost 150 rupees. Why this is so? Why? If you produce the commodities in large amount, their cost of production becomes less, because the in while producing the tables, you will be requiring some machineries. While producing 100 tables also, you are requiring the machineries. So there is some fixed cost which will be incurred in producing 10 tables also and 100 tables also. So some fixed cost is permanent. Difference is that in 10, while producing 10 tables, you will be requiring less resources, while in 100 tables you will be requiring more resources. Difference is that only. But it is but the raw materials cost will almost be same for producing the 10 tables and 100 tables. Difference will be in quantities only. So under large scale production system, more output can be produced at a lower average cost. So when you produce the commodities at a very large scale, their average cost will become less. Average cost will become less. Less. Now just take for example, if you want to um, just cook a rice for 5 people. So whether you will for 5 people, whether you will produce the make the rice for the 5 people individually, like we are making the rice for one individual, then you are making for one individual, then next, then another time you will be making one for one person rice, then another person rice, like this you will make the rice 5 times. But if you will make the rice of 5 people all together, so what will be matter? Making the rice for the 5 people individually, or making the rice for the 5 people all together will be beneficial? Of course this will be beneficial. So in the same way, if you produces the commodities in a very large scale, their average cost of production will become less. And this is the most important merit of the capitalist economy, that in the capitalist economy, output products can be sold at a lower price. So this is the most important feature of the capitalist economy. Hope you are clear with this point. Now fourth one is possibility of maintaining higher standard of living. Now in this type of economy also help in maintaining the standard of living of people. How? Now people get different types of commodities at lower prices. The people are getting the different varieties of commodities, plus they are getting at very low price also. So it raises the consumption possibilities, and the people can maintain the higher standard of living also. So when the consumers are offered a variety of commodities, and plus they're offered at a very low price, now the consumers will be able to afford more and more number of commodities, and which can improve their standard of living. So this economy is also have the possibility of maintaining the standard of living, because varieties of commodities are offered at a very low price. So hope you are clear with this point. Now proceeding to the fifth point is, that is competitive environment and absence of monopoly power. Now monopoly means when a single, a single company is ruling a country. Monopoly, a single company is selling the goods, like in case of electricity department. Like in case of electricity department, there is no there is no other department. Just if we talk about Kanpur, only one department of electricity is there, which supplies the electricity in the whole, you know region, in the whole Kanpur. So so electricity department has a monopoly power. There is only one seller of the commodity. So in this type of economy, there is a competitive environment, because many producers are there selling the same products or homogeneous products, almost same product. So there is a competitive environment, there is spirit of competitiveness in the business, and there is the absence of monopoly power. There is no single producer who is selling only that commodity in a region. So simultaneous activities of a huge number of sellers and buyers create a competitive environment. This, as a result, single firm cannot assume a monopoly power in the market. There is no firm in the capitalist economy who is having a monopoly power, because every firm is having the same type of business. Suppose a firm is producing a cloth. So there are several firms who are producing this type of business only. Suppose a firm is there who is producing the eatable items, so several firms are there who are producing the eatable items. So there is no point of having a monopoly power or single power of producing a commodity. So I hope so this merit is clear to you. Just all the 5 points are clear to you. So let's proceed to our next topic, that is demerits of capitalist economy. Now first point is neglect of social welfare. Now, a very important point is this, that in the capitalist economy, social welfare, satisfactions of humans is neglected. Why this is so? Because the main motive of the capitalist is to earn profits. And if your main motive is to earn profits, often it happens that the human welfare, the satisfaction is being ignored here. So under this system, productive activities are undertaken to maximize private benefit, that is profits, and hence the goal of maximizing the social benefit is neglected. So often human welfare is neglected sometimes. So this is the demerit of capitalist economy. Now second point is greater incidence of exploitation. Now, in most cases, the capitalists accumulate huge amount of profits through exploiting the labor class, and this is done either by paying them less wages or by making them work for the long hours. Now, often it is decharacterized by the capitalists, that often capitalists try to earn more and more profits by exploiting the labor class. Labor class, the working class, the middle class people. They try to earn more and more profit. They try to have more money, either by uh, paying less wages is paid to them, this, or making them work for the long hours. So they try to earn the money through the exploitation of the working class or the middle class, by either paying them less wages, which is not which is very less wages as compared to the fair wages, and making them work for the long hours. Paying them less and making them work for long hours is the exploitation done by the capitalists for earning more amount of money. So I hope so the point is clear to you. Now third one is greater inequality in the distribution of income and wealth. Now under this system, only some individuals who owns capital and assets gets the opportunity to earn more. Thus the wealth and income gets concentrated in few hands only. Now in the capitalist economy, there is a greater possibility of inequality in the income. There's inequality because in the capitalist economy, those who have the money, those who are rich, will try to earn more and more amount of profits. So in this type of economy, which is the condition of our country at present, that rich are getting more richer while poor are getting more poorer. This is because of the feature that there is inequality in the distribution of income and wealth. There is no equal distribution of income and wealth. Rich are trying to earn more and more money, and they are doing so through the exploitation of the poor people, while the poor people are not able to do anything. So this is the most um, important demerit why that a capitalist economy should not be done. The drawback of the capitalist economy is that there is a major inequality in the distribution of income and wealth, which is the major reason for our country to be as a developing country, which is a major drawback to for a country to become a developed country. So I hope so the point is very much clear to you. The fourth point is greater incidence of unemployment. This is also one of the main demerit of capitalist economy, that in capitalist economy the greater chances of unemployment are there. Because why this is the reason, capitalist always tries to maximize the profits, so they often employ labor saving technology, machines, robots, etc. Thus it reduces the employment opportunities. Often they try to earn more and more profits, and they try to develop certain loopholes, that how they can earn more money. They can either employ machineries, because if they will set up machineries, or if they will employ more labor, so the labor cost will be more as compared to the machineries. The machinery investment is one time investment. So to earn more money, nowadays the capitalists are trying to just adopt the labor saving technology, and thus the employment opportunities are reduced therefrom. So I hope so the point is clear to you. Now fifth point is regional imbalance in the industrial growth. Now there is also the regional imbalance. Now what is regional imbalance? Regional imbalance means setting up the industries in those regions which are developed ones, while ignoring the backward regions. This is a very important demerit in the capitalist economy. The capitalists try to set up the industries in the developed areas and ignore the backward areas, and that is why our backward areas are still the backward areas. So the capitalists prefer to establish industrial units in such locations which are nearer to the railways or the ports, and this leads to regional imbalances in the country, and hence the backward regions are still known as the backward regions, because no development is being done by the capitalist capitalist producers. So that is why it has been focused by the government that now the industries should be set up in those regions which are backward, so that they can also be known as developed regions. So I hope so all the five demerits just as well as the merits are clear to you. Now there are certain examples of the capitalist economy which you need to learn. Any two you can learn, the USA, Canada and Western Europe. So these are the examples of capitalist economy. Now this is the end of this video. Hope you have got all the topics which I have covered today in this video. Students, keep on revising, and if you have any problem, just mention in the comment section. Do like and subscribe my channel, and have a nice day, students.